Hi, you're watching Scribbled Sim. This is Sid. We are going to be doing a cemetery build today. It was a fairly easy build. Not a whole lot going on, but it was definitely fun. I had been wanting to make a cemetery because I wanted a community lot that more people would go to, I guess, when I'm playing as vampires, because I hate having to go hunt people down to feed on plasma. So, ergo, I made some place for everyone to hang out. So I'm just building little mausoleums here and putting everything together. This pack, or this build, only used 3 of the packs. It used Island Living, Seasons, and then the Vampire pack. And then I built it in the little vampire world. And it's just on a 30 by 30 lot. And if you want to, I do put coffins on here. And I was actually thinking about adding a basement that was like gonna be a vampire home, and then like the top of it was just the cemetery, so it looked like inconspicuous and everything, but I wanted this to be a shorter build. My last couple videos have been very long, so I wanted this one to be just kind of short and sweet. So I figured if I do want to change it in the future and add a basement, I can just do another video out of that, and that wouldn't be a problem. Or even better, someone else could take this build and modify it, and I would love to see any modifications made to make it look pretty cool and that kind of thing. So if you do end up buying it for a house, it ends up being 51,000, or I guess 52,000, because it's 51,844. But yeah, so I just set it as a generic community lot because I'm probably going to have different people visit there, and I also thought it would be fun for storytelling, because you could have you could even make it like a teen hangout and have like the kids come get into like mischief or trouble here, that kind of thing. And so it would be interesting. I made it like a vampire nexus and like kind of like vampy, central. Just making walkways right now between the mausoleums and everything. I use a ton of debug because of all the plants, and then just a lot of the vampire pack stuff. And surprisingly enough, the Island Living pack had a lot of really great stonework, like wall coverings, like the outsides. And so I ended up using a lot of them were from the Island Living pack, not even from the vampire pack. So that's pretty cool. I had been wanting to make like an actual like vampire house and everything, or mansion, but I thought that this might be, and then I thought about maybe making a tiny home, and then that's like kind of where the mausoleums came into play. But I don't know, just making the cemetery just seemed more fun when I started this. Yeah, and the fencing around the edges is all debug fencing. So again, it's, if you do end up downloading it, have, cheats on, debug on, move objects on, because I use a lot of that. Yeah. I put the 3 coffins in there. That's all that would fit in there really were the coffins, so I didn't try and press my luck and add anything extra. I go through debug and I see anything that I think could possibly work for this build, and then I just pull it all out and put it on the lawn, and then I arrange it to kind of where I want it to end up roughly, and then that makes it feel a little bit more organized, because like if I pull everything out of debug that looks interesting, I can A, delete it if I don't use it, B, I can see exactly what I am using, and I can go, oh, I need more of this, and I can actually look for it rather than trying to vaguely remember like that one thing I saw. especially when it comes to just like landscaping and rocks and foliage and things like that. Like, I try and take out as much as possible because I know I'm going to use quite a bit of it. I end up, as I take out, like I said, I take out so much stuff. Like, I took out all those trees. I don't think I used any of those trees. I took out that big fountain on the right corner, and I don't even use that fountain. I end up using the old fountain in the center, just like how I put it together right now. Like, I end up loving that and just deciding that that's what I want to use, not the other debug fountain. And then I really liked how there's this lamp post that looks like it's fallen over, and I thought, A, it's old cemetery, so things could be dilapidated and like kind of falling down, and B, it could have been a vampire fight that happened, and that's like the train wreck or like the, you know, destruction left in their wake kind of deal. And so I just really loved it. And then later on, I like what I do with it because I put like a root growing over it, so it's like it's been there for some time. And at this point, I'm just trying to make it look as, see, I cut there because I didn't record me putting everything in their respective places because I was like, that's gonna be boring. But yeah, so I'm putting up little fences and everything. One cool thing that I did in this build, and I want to do in all of my future builds, and the way, and I'll let you know how you'll know at the end. I hid a gnome in this build randomly, and I just thought it would be fun to kind of like hide a gnome in every one of my builds, and then you could find it, and then you never know what kind of gnome I'm gonna hide. So you would find the gnome and then leave a comment below on Twitter, or even directly on the download in the gallery what gnome it was that you found. And I thought that could be kind of fun. And if there's a gnome in one of my builds, I would just hashtag it find the gnome. And yeah, and then maybe, I don't know if more people are into it, maybe one day I'll come up with a little prize for the first person who finds like the gnome in each build or something. I don't know. It could be fun, I think, and a way to kind of get everyone excited about my builds. I was upset because there was no water in this fountain, but then I realized it was an old cemetery and it could be really interesting to have like weeds growing up through it and that kind of thing. And I really loved using the like vampire mistress as like the main center statue, as opposed to using like the vampire master that I put over there in between those two mausoleums, because I felt like that was so predictable to have him be like the one that was right there in the front. So, and I think she's just a prettier statue anyways, so I kind of thought she would be nicer to have in the middle. And also I like the plant I put around her kind of thing. I'm just kind of adding little details to the ground here and there. Right now I'm building like a little shrine, I guess it could be called, or a little mini mausoleum or whatever. I found that mausoleum door and I was like using it, so I put it on the center one. But yeah, I was having trouble with the roof because I was like, I don't know what kind of roof to use on here, so I went with this horrible half-gabled, and I end up changing it and everything because it looks terrible, and just like reworking the shape of the little shrine and everything. But I do like the way it ends up because I figured it could be like a little thing where people, either bring little offerings or something like that. I put like little candles there, especially with the Realm of Magic pack that's going to be coming out. Like, I don't know what's going to be in the Realm of Magic pack, but I figured, there's going to be possible witches and things like that, and if that's the case, then what better place for them to like have seances or do witchy things than in the middle of a freaking cemetery. So that's why I made that mostly. And then I just liked this because it kind of gave off this little almost creepy vibe, but also like a revered vibe. So I don't know, those little like wall fountains are in there, and I put those all there. Werewolves. And just arranging headstones randomly and doing final little details. But yeah. So just enjoy some screenshots, and thank you for watching. Subscribe if you thought this was an interesting build, and I hope that you watch my next video. And remember to find the gnome and put a comment down below or on Twitter what gnome it was that you found. Again, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.